there was something of a debate that erupted in the debate about the budget last week over the robust levels of net international reserves that Jamaica has. Jamaica has, as at March 5, the finance minister told us, US $6.8 billion. US $6.8 billion. That's a record amount. Yes? As I was reminding you all last week, I can recall very clearly, not so long ago, the 1990s, the turn of the 21st century, we didn't have a dollar in the NIR. They used to talk about, well, NIR of minus $500 million or minus $800 million. Yes? And now we have US $6.8 billion. And some people are positing the view that we should not be building up the NIR to that level anymore because we are well above the international benchmark of 12-week supply of imports. And I've explained this over and over. Your NIR is your bank account. In case of emergency, in case of an unexpected development, somebody gets sick, you meet an accident, and in the case of Jamaica, if we have another Melissa, or the place starts shake and the world everywhere start come down, yeah, the economy come to a halt, you need to have some emergency money, rainy day money, yeah? And some people are saying, oh, we now have 30 weeks, 36 weeks of supply instead of the usual 12, 3 times the amount. So we should really now stop focusing on the NIR and spend the money. Well, I heard the very respected economist, Dr. Damien King, responding to that argument last week and making it clear that that would be wrong. It would be wrong if we were ever to stop building up the NIR. Huh? Last week, you recall a business leader, John Mahfood, calling on the government to put the country's foreign exchange reserves to better use. But Dr. King said that suggestion ignores the realities facing Jamaica today.
So I don't know how anybody who has been awake in Jamaica for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years and seen us go through Hurricane Melissa, COVID, a financial crisis, spikes in oil prices that go from $40 a barrel to $120 a barrel, can contemplate that reducing our resilience. We're a small, open economy in a vicious world in terms of global economic factors.
Yes. It's a point I made here last week. Given our realities, we just get licked by Melissa. $12 billion. Yes? The year before we get licked by Beryl and Raphael. We are in a very hazardous zone. Yes? We have the war in the Middle East. We don't know where a barrel of oil is going to stop. It's about $100 now, jumping from $70 in a matter of 2-3 weeks. Yeah? I hear reports talking that, listen, if the Iranians continue to retaliate the way they have, we could be looking at $200 a barrel for oil. How would we pay for it? Huh? So Dr. King says the level of resilience provided by the NIR should be strengthened, not weakened, but strengthened going forward.
what Melissa and COVID is trying to hammer into everybody's heads is that we need to be more resilient, not less. And since foreign exchange is a critical element, availability of foreign exchange is a critical element of what affects our lives and our standard of living, we should be afraid to reduce our resilience. We should be looking for ways to increase it further.
Of course. Of course. We live in an era and in a place that we don't know what is going to hit us tomorrow. And we need to be able to help ourselves. Yes, it's not like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Whenever Jamaica experienced a shock, an unexpected development in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, you know what would happen? Prime Minister would jump on a flight, or the finance minister, and one of the things they would walk with is a begging bowl. Go around and beg, help, you know? We just get licked. We need some help. Yes, that's how we used to do it. Go beg. And then when we come back, meaning the finance minister, the prime minister, whoever it is, it would be announced as a big achievement that we were able to borrow 25 million US dollars or 60 million US dollars, and media would carry it as our lead story and headline. Prime Minister returns with borrowing of X millions of dollars, and that would be seen as an achievement. Thank God that is behind us. That is behind us, and we must not go back there. We mustn't go back there. Yeah? So you continue to make sure we build up the bank account, because we don't know what is going to lick us come tomorrow. Well, speaking of tomorrow, it will be the turn of the opposition leader, Mr. Mark Golding. Mr. Golding will be making his contribution to the budget debate. And it will be closely watched. We heard his spokesman on finance last Thursday. What will be the position adopted by Mr. Golding tomorrow? Yeah. Surely he will have to critique the post-Melissa management of the recovery, the revenue measures outlined by the government. His spokesman, Julian Robinson, criticized the revenue-raising measures, saying the government wasn't smart and that they were going to be burdensome to the most vulnerable. Let's see the position that is going to be adopted by Mr. Golding tomorrow. One political commentator, the editor of the Western Mirror newspaper, Lloyd B. Smith, told Nationwide that he would want Mr. Golding to focus on nation building and not be combative, given the impact of global tensions on Jamaica at this time.
I think, first of all, Mr. Golding has come across in a very measured and conciliatory way. At this time, what the country needs most of all is a united approach. Let us not be, divisive, because the reality is that we are just a dot on the map, and we face several vulnerabilities, economically and otherwise. And in fact, I think we have to walk the tightrope in order to survive based on the geopolitical environment. And so I would not expect that he would go out on a limb to be combative and sort of, go for the jugular, but rather to focus on nation building.
I think that is excellent advice coming from Lloyd B. I think that is excellent advice. Yes? He doesn't have an election to win later this year, nor next year. Yes? And he needs to build some capital. Yes? He needs to come across as thoughtful, reasonable, yes, and thinking about the nation at this particularly perilous time. Yes. According to Lloyd, he wants Mr. Golding to focus on solutions and not seek to score political points from the challenges we have.
The country is about to face what I regard as a very pivotal part in its history. We are not too far away from another hurricane season. We have been having earthquake tremors. We have the war in the Middle East. We have Trump eyeing Cuba, which is just next door to us. These are very, very turbulent times. And what we don't need now is just cheap politicking. The opposition must rise to the occasion.
Thank you very much, Lloyd B. Yes. One final one before I shut up and open the lines. I see we continue to watch the murder figures. Murders so far this year, 2025, down nearly 30% since the start of the year. And where are we today? We're the 15th, the 16th of March. Yeah? And murders down almost 30% when compared to the similar period last year. Up to last Saturday, 113 murders had been recorded. That's 47 fewer than the corresponding period last year. That amounts to a 29.4% reduction. St. Andrews South leads the tally with the highest numbers of murder, 13 since the start of the year. But even that is 11 fewer than the 24 the division recorded over the same period last year. Portland has seen the biggest drop in murders, recording only a single homicide since the start of the year. That's down from the 5 recorded during the same period last year. But Manchester, something is going wrong in Manchester. Manchester has seen an 80% jump in its murder tally since January 1, moving from 5 last year to 9 this year. Yeah? Island-wide, other serious crimes continue to record significant declines. Shootings are down 37%, rapes down 9%, robberies down 19%, and break-ins down 7%. After the break, your calls.